universities, institutions, NGOs that committed themselves to join that network. Please join us here in the first two rows, if you may. Thank you.
Sì, più 20. E poi 20 di domande. 20. C'è scritto. Poverini.
Ladies and gentlemen, as some of you in the last rows didn't hear what I was saying, can I ask the representatives of the institutions that will be signing the partnerships of the network at this table in about an hour or 45 minutes, can I kindly ask you to sit in the first two rows that are reserved here? So all the institutions that will be signing the network, all the representatives of these institutions, please sit in the first two rows. Thank you so much, and we'll be starting our last session on this conference. Thank you.
Buonasera, spero che la pausa abbia aiutato l'ascolto di queste voci molto importanti, molto interessanti. Io sono qui in doppia veste, in veste di politica ma anche di professore dell'Università Cattolica di Milano, e sono molto lieta di partecipare a questo panel perché come avrete sicuramente già detto ampiamente, l'arrivo dei rifugiati, la presenza dei migranti nelle nostre università rappresenta una sfida a tutti i livelli, una sfida culturale, sociale, politica. Penso alla enciclica Laudato Si di Papa Francesco sulla mobilità umana. Una sfida politica in un momento di muri in cui molti paesi dicono il mio paese first, il mio paese prima, molti dicono America first, Italia first, non so se anche molti dicono. E penso che la presenza dei migranti rappresenta davvero una sfida anche per la ricostruzione, per lo sviluppo dei paesi da cui provengono, una sfida di integrazione nei paesi in cui arrivano, che hanno bisogno di aprirsi. Penso a una sfida spirituale per le nostre università, che spesso sono provinciali, rischiano di essere chiuse, e per loro i migranti e i rifugiati sono una benedizione. E naturalmente una sfida culturale, o meglio una sfida interculturale, per trovare un nuovo modo di dialogare tra le culture, perché io credo che abbiamo da superare sia un'idea di assimilazione che un'idea di relativismo che rispetta tutte le culture ma non le modifica. E poi penso a una sfida per la ricerca. Pensate a una sfida per la ricerca storica, fare una world history, una storia globale del mondo che non studia i fenomeni solo nazionali ma quelli unitari. Pensate alla sfida di una ricerca giuridico-politica, perché i rifugiati di oggi non sono più quelli della Convenzione di Ginevra del 1951. Sono cambiati, sono altro, e le nostre società non erano pronte ad accoglierle. o una sfida a livello antropologico, filosofico, pedagogico, perché la convivenza è difficile, come abbiamo detto più volte, ho sentito anche oggi, e occorre davvero raccontare diversamente, pensare diversamente la mobilità umana per poter vincere le paure della gente. Allora io sono molto d'accordo con questo lavoro di questi giorni, con la rete IMRE che sicuramente dopo su cui lavoreremo, e non voglio togliere la parola ancora ai nostri qui, a chi interverrà oggi. Abbiamo voci molto interessanti da tutti i continenti. Allora, per prima do la parola, seguo l'ordine, a Suor Jacinta Quadras, che viene dall'India. Abbiamo deciso per fare prima di lasciare 10 minuti a tutti e poi ci saranno, spero, ci saranno delle domande, abbiamo forse tra i 10-20 minuti, dipende da quanto siamo stanchi. Allora, Suor Jacinta Quadras della Stella Maris College, indiana. Grazie, Suor Jacinta.
A very good evening to each one of you present here. I'm really honored and pleased to be in the midst of this distinguished assembly. Thank you for this invitation to make this presentation at this conference. Atithi Devo Bhava. It's a Sanskrit word which means the guest is equivalent to God. I come from that part of the world that treats its guest as God. I'm reminded of what Dr. Crosser said, when a stranger comes in, it stays on. Just previous speaker afternoon she mentioned. So this has not only remained as a tradition, but is also reflected in our actions. You may ask, isn't it quite natural to treat our guests well? Here I am reminded of what Jesus said. When I was a stranger, you invited me in. This conference comes at a time when the world grapples with, as Mr. Filippo Grandi, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, observed, at sea, a frightening number of refugees and migrants are dying each year. On land, people are fleeing war or finding their way blocked by closed borders. As we deliberate on issues relating to refugees and migrants, the Rohingya refugee crisis in the region of this Indian subcontinent has reached such alarming levels that it has been likened to a mass exodus of one of the world's most persecuted communities, both to India and Bangladesh. In 2017 alone, there are reports from the government of Bangladesh stating that over 400,000 Rohingyas have crossed the borders and reached Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh. The genocidal ethnic war is displacing hundreds and thousands of Rohingyas who are, by virtue of their ethnicity, the poorest and most vulnerable inhabitants of the state of Rakhine on the western coast of Myanmar. The government of Bangladesh is now building a huge camp to house them. This is not the only group forced to flee their homelands to the subcontinents of India. The region has been witness to an influx of refugees from time immemorial. India's geographical location on the global map has made it one of the largest host countries to the fleeing refugees from the neighboring countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Tibet, Myanmar, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. India provides refuge to Tibetans, Chakmas from Bangladesh, Pashtun, Hazara, and Tajik refugees from Afghanistan, Tamils from Sri Lanka, and Chins, Karens, and Rohingyas from Myanmar, Hindus from Pakistan. According to the Office of the UNHCR, India had a refugee population of just over 200,000 by the end of 2015. Presently, close to 500,000 population of forced migrants, which includes refugees and IDPs, reside in the country. According to the UNHCR 2017, there are 7.7 million refugees in the Asia and Pacific region, which includes 3.5 million refugees, 1.9 million IDPs, and 1.4 million stateless people. The majority of the refugees are from Afghanistan and Myanmar. Until the crisis in Syria unfolded, this sub-region produced and hosted the most number of refugees in the past quarter of a century. Currently, India has at least 400 settlements of Pakistani Hindu refugees. Since 2012, at least 40,000 Rohingyas have entered India, all via Bangladesh. India does not try to force refugees to return to their home countries, their countries of origin, despite the fact that it is not a signatory to the 1951 UN Convention related to the status of refugees, and considering the fact that it does not have any domestic or regional laws pertaining to refugees. India provides long-term visas for the refugees. You will see here a few pictures of refugees and IDPs camps in the South Asian region. The protracted challenges in settlement and rehabilitation are donor fatigue, reduction in funding, lack of government support, absence of systematic and planned humanitarian assistance, which have limited the scope of proactively responding to the grievous situation of the refugees. The refugees have very limited options. The scope for self-determination depends very much on the policy of the state. Oftentimes, their freedom to think is curtailed as they are hostages of a situation which they did not choose. The issues of protection and increased vulnerability, mental health and physical health, access to rights, entitlements, education, sanitation, food and livelihood, human rights violation with the least regard for dignity and worth of an individual, denial of legal identity, and absence of humanitarian assistance pose greater challenges. As educationists, we need to realize that the stigma of being a refugee is often associated with the prime actors in the conflict, resulting in rejection. The college strives to enable students make meaningful connections between academics and the real world and extend their learning so as to respond in a relevant and concrete manner to the reality of refugee and migrant populations and other human rights issues that beset them. It encourages students to reach out to the communities through social awareness programs by social service learning and experiential learning. The college has encouraged students at both the undergraduate and postgraduate levels to engage in research and project work. The college also networks through the Department of Social Work with UNHCR, where students have the experience of working with Rohingya families. As a priority in our admission policy, every year, refugee students are admitted in their desired discipline of study with a fee waiver. It is a proud moment for me to share with you a recent doctoral thesis of one of our faculty members, Dr. Laura Devaprasanna, who belongs to the Department of Social Work, whose study was entitled Quality of Life and Psychological Well-Being of Spouses of Migrants, in which she draws out how the patriarchal structures of family life in a small village near Chennai has changed drastically with the influence of migration. I also acknowledge with great admiration the work and contribution of our former students of Social Work Department, Ms. Asunta Dorothy, who is the head of missions at Intersource, Iraq, and country director at John Neater International, Ms. Amita Krishnamurthy, who works as a resettlement case advisor at the National Refugee Resettlement Centre, Ministry of Business, New Zealand. Dr. Florina Xavier, who currently serves in an NGO at Afghanistan, working with the IDPs. She also worked with the Pashtuns in Kyrgyzstan for the UNHCR. Her husband, Dr. Gladstone, works tirelessly with the Sri Lankan refugees and currently coordinates around 300 NGOs in the Asian region which work with the refugees. As educators at the international, national, and regional levels, we can provide services in 5 broad areas. Providing access to higher education, make it a point of discussion in the respective deaneries. Enabling cutting-edge research on issues concerning refugees, leading to advocacy and both direct and indirect intervention. Providing informal, occasional, and life skills training to help refugees cope with difficult and dangerous situations. Increasing their capacity to reduce their vulnerability. Conducting short and long-term courses on refugee studies to create a band of professionals who can dedicate themselves to the cause of the refugees. Establishment of a refugee chair that can be sponsored by organizations such as the CRI, that is Catholic Religious of India, CBCI, that is Catholic Bishops' Conference of India, universities, and organized programs such as publishing occasional papers on pressing issues of refugee, be a clearinghouse with information on refugees, collaborate with CBCI recognized organizations like the ICUF, that is All India Catholic University Federation, YSM, that is Young Student Movement, etc., to spread awareness among refugees. Network with regional organizations such as the Asia Pacific Refugee Rights Network to expand the scope of learning and development. Encourage interaction with local branches of the Jesuit Refugee Services, International Catholic Migration Commission, Organization for Ilanke Refugees Rehabilitation, and many other grassroots organizations. Document and publicize good practices in the region. Here are some pictures of intervention models. There is a dearth of research in this area. Refugee and migrant issues are under-addressed with very little academic interest and awareness on this issue in several universities. Hence, collaborative cross-cultural research studies can be undertaken to understand socio-economic and cultural problems of refugees and migrants of different regions. Strong intervention models can make education as an investment for refugees, multidisciplinary approach in the field of refugee and forced migration studies, introducing key debates, trends, and challenges which characterize this dynamic area of research. Policy and practice can be developed to bring positive well-being. Universities can effectively influence policies in this issue by providing evidence-based research. This can be realized through undertaking research and lobbying with the concerned authorities in different forums. regional cooperation can be strengthened in order to affect culturally relevant peace-building strategies. Stronger advocacy networks are to be created among the participating universities so as to create a uniform platform to address the needs and issues of people in such situations. Refugees and migrant issues are undoubtedly a growing phenomenon. There is a larger role to be adopted by universities in upholding the dignity and safety of the voices which have a far unrealized cry. Therefore, it is important to respond proactively and prepare a generation of students, academicians, and institutions who will be able to recognize who that unclothed, hungry, homeless stranger is. Atithi Devo Bhava. These refugees and migrants, strangers, are our guests. Let us welcome them into our midst. I would like to end with the quote of Pope Francis. We have a duty towards our brothers and sisters who, for various reasons, have been forced to leave their homeland, a duty of justice, of civility, and of solidarity. We have a long way to go. Thank you for your attention.
Grazie molto, professoressa Quadras. Attraverso l'India lei ci ha dato uno sguardo su tutta l'Asia e in particolare ci ha ricordato anche dei gruppi dimenticati, perché se dei Rohingya almeno un po' si parla in Occidente, altri sono dimenticati, penso ai Karen o ai Tamil dello Sri Lanka, dopo la guerra non si è più parlato di loro, quindi grazie per averci parlato dell'Asia attraverso l'India. Ora invece diamo la parola a Don Innocent Nirindekwe, che è il rettore dell'Università Cattolica La Sapienza di Goma in Congo, quindi una voce africana.
Merci beaucoup de m'accorder la parole. Je voudrais avant toute chose remercier la FIUC parce que c'est par la FIUC que j'ai eu l'invitation pour venir ici. Je voudrais exprimer deux petits sentiments. D'abord un sentiment de joie et de satisfaction, mais aussi un petit sentiment peut-être de déception. D'abord parce que j'ai vu très peu de gens qui viennent de l'Afrique. J'aurais pu voir un peu plus. Et qu'il y en a peu qui pouvaient parler des situations que nous vivons. Voilà. Pendant ce temps, il y a deux choses que j'ai observées. Il y en a qui ont parlé avec le cœur. Il y en a qui ont parlé avec beaucoup de raison, beaucoup d'intelligence. Et je crois que c'est ça la richesse de ces assises, qu'il y en a qui parlent avec leur cœur. J'ai entendu quelqu'un de Syrie ou de Liban, peut-être ça sera la même chose pour moi, et d'autres qui ont été très rationnels. Nous avons besoin de tout cela parce qu'on est université. Je vais parler en 4 moments. D'abord une petite introduction, et puis la deuxième chose, je vais identifier le problème qui est la cause qui est à la base de la mobilité, ou ce que nous appelons le déplacement des populations en masse, en tout cas chez nous dans la région. Après cela, je vais essayer de donner quelques exemples d'initiatives des universités pour gérer la situation des rescapés, des déplacés, des réfugiés, parce qu'il y a des retournés, parce qu'il y a des concepts que nous avons qui n'ont pas été partagés. Et puis à la fin, quelques recommandations. D'abord, l'introduction. Moi, je viens d'une région qu'on appelle les Grands Lacs, qui sont très connus par les milieux internationaux comme les lieux où vous avez ce qu'on appelle le coltan. Le coltan du sang. Le coltan qui est recherché partout, ce que nous utilisons sur nos téléphones et qui est en train de faire déplacer des milliers de personnes. Quand on parle des Grands Lacs, on parle beaucoup plus du Congo, RDC, du Rwanda et du Burundi. Et quand on parle des réfugiés, des déplacés, des retournés, ils sont par milliers, et la plupart, ils sont perdus, non pas sur des mers, des océans, mais ils sont perdus dans les forêts. Et ça, c'est une réalité qu'on ignore. Le Congo lui-même, aujourd'hui, compte des millions. Je ne vais pas donner des chiffres parce qu'on sait que ce soit à l'Est, que ce soit au Kasaï, il y a beaucoup de millions de gens qui se déplacent, beaucoup qui meurent encore, et nous sommes la région des réfugiés, des déplacés et des retournés qui sont très mal connus. Peut-être s'ils ne sont pas des oubliés, ils sont très mal connus. La remarque fondamentale que je donne dans cette introduction, c'est que je crois qu'il est important pour nous de comprendre d'abord les choses en amont et travailler sur la prévention. On a parlé très peu de prévention, naturellement, dans ces assises. Ce n'était pas la question, mais je crois qu'il faudrait que peut-être une autre assemblée comme celle-ci parle de cette question-là de la prévention. Quand on regarde un peu le panorama, ce que nous vivons, nous sommes donc une région tourmentée par une logique purement militaire. Et je peux parler d'une certaine gouvernance des armes. Et les armes sont devenues effectivement un fonds de commerce des multinationales, des gens qui vendent, mais qui s'en foutent de la vie des gens. La deuxième chose, c'est qu'on a l'impression que dans le mental et l'imaginaire des populations, il existe déjà des dépôts d'armes dans la tête des gens. C'est qu'on peut appeler des arsenaux mentaux, les imaginaires des personnes et les systèmes mentaux qui nourrissent la guerre tous les jours. On est confronté à un ennemi, comme on peut dire, on se prépare pour l'affronter. Je suis déplacé aujourd'hui ou réfugié aujourd'hui, demain c'est toi qui le seras, et nous sommes dans un cycle infernal de déplacement et nous bougeons, de mobilité, et la plupart se perdent dans les forêts. Et on a l'impression que ces populations promeuvent elles-mêmes des logiques guerrières plus dangereuses que les armes elles-mêmes. Parce que quand on nourrit des logiques de guerre en soi, alors ça signifie que les guerres vont continuer, les déplacements vont continuer, et la mobilité, elle sera toujours là. Et donc, nous sommes en face de quelques identités meurtrières qui font de cette région un champ de ruines permanent et potentiel. Deuxième point, comment nous pouvons identifier peut-être la cause fondamentale? Personnellement, je pense que la cause fondamentale, c'est une manipulation. C'est la manipulation interne et externe pour créer des tensions et des tensions permanentes. Nous avons l'impression que pour répondre à la mondialisation financière notamment, il y a des gens qui sont derrière pour tirer la ficelle de la manipulation et elle devient un outil dont se servent les rébellions et les logiques qui sont toutes des logiques meurtrières et qui envoient les gens sur la route, sur le chemin. Alors, cette manipulation a des combustibles, je crois, qui l'allument. Il y a des idéologies qui sont toutes nourries par, effectivement, des combustibles, la haine qu'on allume, les stéréotypes, les a priori, les préjugés et parfois la haine injustifiée. Dire à quelqu'un que le voisin n'est pas ton frère, il faut le chasser, et il y en a qui arrivent à le faire. Et les idéologies que nous pouvons retenir, qui mettent les gens en déplacement, Il y a d'abord l'idéologie d'autoprotection et d'autodéfense. Je ne sais pas ici comment les gens l'ont présenté, mais j'ai compris qu'il y a toujours quelque part, quand il y a des gens qui se déplacent, la logique de l'autoprotection. On veut se défendre ou se protéger contre l'autre qui nous arrive. La sœur était en train de dire tout de suite que Jésus nous dit, c'est quand l'étranger arrive que je sens que je peux vivre vraiment l'évangile. Et on a l'impression que dans certaines logiques, les gens veulent s'autoprotéger, protéger leur territoire, protéger leur terre, jusqu'à créer ce que nous appelons les conflits fonciers. Et les conflits des terres sont des conflits qu'on n'a pas peut-être en Europe, certainement, mais ce sont des conflits qui mettent aussi les gens sur les routes. L'idéologie du chaos planifié. Quand vous regardez ce qui se passe au Burundi ou en République démocratique du Congo, c'est vraiment le totalitarisme et le refus de changer parce qu'il y a un déficit démocratique et il n'y a personne qui parle. Et quand on parle, effectivement, c'est là que les gens se retrouvent dans des prisons ou alors ils sont en exil. Ce sont des exilés politiques que vous avez. L'idéologie victimaire. Il y a des États qui pensent qu'ils doivent chaque fois se sentir victimes des bourreaux qui viennent d'ailleurs. Et que donc, nous sommes dans des pays où on est attaqué par un voisin. Et quand on est attaqué, on doit toujours dire « on m'attaque, on m'attaque, on m'attaque ». Et à ce moment-là, qu'est-ce qui se passe? On cherche à se défendre alors qu'on veut plutôt essayer de répondre à la question de finances ou de l'argent. On accepte de se battre contre sa propre population et la population, encore une fois, rentre sur les routes. La plus grande idéologie qui met les gens sur les routes, c'est ce qu'on peut appeler une idéologie mafieuse. On est en Italie. Une idéologie mafieuse globalitaire qui regarde certains milieux comme, au fond, des appâts de richesse. Il faut aller se battre, vendre les armes, et puis alors, on va prendre des lieux où il y a la richesse. Nous voyons cette logique aussi des gens qui viennent, qui influencent sur, par exemple, les embargos. Pour quelles raisons? Dans certaines régions, comme la région des Grands Lacs, les embargos ne tiennent pas. Ça sert à quoi qu'on prenne des embargos? Pour des gens qui, au fond, avancent parce qu'il y en a qui sont derrière, qui cherchent à vendre les armes. Donc on a l'impression que les embargos ne servent à rien parce que quelqu'un est derrière. Voilà un peu quelques types de logiques que nous avons qui sont toutes des logiques meurtrières et des logiques qui déplacent les gens. Le troisième point, le plus grand problème dans tout cela, je n'y reviens pas, le problème fondamental qu'on voit, c'est la question de l'éducation des enfants. Tout le monde a dit ici que la moitié de ceux qui se déplacent sont des enfants. Effectivement, pour nous, nous trouvons que c'est un problème sérieux quand les enfants sont mis sur la route et qui ne sont pas protégés et ils sont dans le risque demain, au fond, eux-mêmes de revenir dans les groupes armés. Je reviens sur le cercle vicieux plutôt. Les enfants qui ne vont pas à l'école reviennent facilement dans les groupes armés et ils se battent contre leur propre village. C'est eux qui incendient les villages et ça devient un problème fondamental qu'on ne peut pas ignorer. Alors, le quatrième point, sont les initiatives. Quelques initiatives qu'on voit dans la région. Quand nous parlons du Burundi, du Congo et du Rwanda, qui essaient de déverser leurs réfugiés sur la Tanzanie, l'Ouganda, qui aujourd'hui, vous le savez, est parmi les pays qui a le plus grand nombre de déplacés et de réfugiés. Quand on regarde les initiatives qu'il y a eu, la première grande initiative, c'est maintenant par rapport à l'université. C'est ce qu'on appelle le camp de Musasa au Burundi. Le camp de Musasa au Burundi, on a essayé ils ont essayé avec l'association humanitaire suisse internationale Humanitarian Organization, CO, à lancer une université dans un camp de réfugiés, qui est la première dans la région des Grands Lacs. C'est donc les Nations Unies qui ont lancé cette initiative le 28 septembre 2015, qui s'appelle UNIREF. Et cet établissement est installé réellement dans un camp de réfugiés. Au Rwanda, il y a eu le lancement de la première université dans le monde, dans le camp de réfugiés de Kiziba. C'est un autre grand camp de réfugiés congolais qui sont venus vers le Rwanda depuis maintenant plusieurs années. C'est aussi la première université dans le camp de réfugiés au Rwanda qui a pour objectif d'assurer la protection des réfugiés et de renforcer les capacités en matière d'éducation parce que, effectivement, comme tout le monde l'a dit, il faut donner aux jeunes l'opportunité d'être éduqués et d'étudier et pour demain, l'opportunité de l'emploi. La troisième initiative, c'est l'initiative de JRS, donc des jésuites. C'est au Congo, d'où je viens. C'est aussi une université online qui a commencé dans un camp, pas de réfugiés, mais un camp de déplacés de guerre, même du Congo. Donc c'est une nouvelle expérience, mais quand on regarde cette expérience de Congo, elle se bute à des problèmes parce qu'il y aura plus tard la reconnaissance. La question de la reconnaissance des diplômes, comme les autres l'ont dit, il y a encore beaucoup de doutes comment il faudra faire. Et je crois que l'idée, c'est de pouvoir approfondir cette question pour voir s'il n'y a pas une université de la place qui puisse accepter, demain ou après-demain, de diplômer les étudiants qui font le e-learning à travers cette université dans le camp de déplacés de Massissi. Pour terminer, quelques recommandations. À partir de ces initiatives, nous pensons qu'on peut donner des chances comme à tous, aux jeunes qui se sont déplacés dans leur propre territoire de pouvoir étudier. La proposition que nous donnons, c'est de promouvoir un travail, je dirais un travail avec, et non pas un travail sur, dans le domaine de recherche. On a l'impression que quand nous faisons la recherche, nous travaillons toujours sur, pour, mais essayer de travailler avec ces mêmes personnes, je crois que ça nous donne plus de chances de pouvoir arriver à des solutions. L'autre recommandation, ça serait intéressant de pouvoir proposer de créer des fonds de solidarité, tout le monde l'a dit, et nous espérons que les organisateurs vont pouvoir y penser, mais aussi lancer un appel pour placer l'éducation comme élément essentiel des réponses aux situations d'urgence, surtout dans les pays qui n'ont pas beaucoup de revenus. Pour terminer, nous voulions demander qu'il y ait une promotion de la coopération entre les universités du Nord et celles du Sud, surtout dans les domaines de la recherche orientée vers les causes, parce que les conséquences, effectivement, on y est déjà, mais surtout aussi vers les causes pour que nous puissions travailler sur la prévention au lieu de travailler sur la maladie. Mieux vaut toujours prévenir que guérir. Je vous remercie.
Grazie molte, Don Innocent. Lei, tra i tanti aspetti che ha trattato, ci ha ricordato almeno due molto importanti. Uno è l'istruzione dei bambini, dei ragazzi migranti, rifugiati, ma anche l'esigenza di disarmare le menti, perché i migranti e i rifugiati oggi sono il nuovo bersaglio di odio. E questo non avviene in modo del tutto naturale, avviene perché ci sono forze culturali, politiche che manipolano la paura della gente, quindi è una grande sfida per le università, quella di disarmare le menti e mostrare come la paura dell'altro sia frutto di una manipolazione delle persone. Quindi ancora veramente molto grazie. Ora abbiamo invece la Suor Hilda Celala, che insegna all'Università Sainte Famille del Libano. Vorrei solo dire che in Europa ci lamentiamo per il numero di rifugiati. Ci sono paesi che hanno respinto qualche decina o centinaia di rifugiati. In Libano ce ne sono più di 2 milioni su un paese di qualche milione di abitanti.
Bonsoir. Mesdames et messieurs, bien sûr, je dois tout d'abord remercier la FIUC et les organisateurs de ce colloque pour le choix de son thème également si important pour se pencher sur un enjeu aussi important que la crise migratoire, qui devient un problème fondamental de plusieurs pays, notamment au Liban. Quelle est alors la situation des réfugiés au Liban et quelle est la situation du Liban en présence des réfugiés? Permettez-moi de vous présenter cette vidéo.
سياسة الأبواب المفتوحة هي ما اعتمده لبنان حيال الشعب السوري في بدايات الأزمة السورية عام 2011. فإلى لبنان، هذه البقعة الصغيرة من العالم بمساحة 10,452 كيلومتر مربع، وحيث عدد السكان نحو 4 ملايين نسمة، تدفق أكثر من 1,500,000 نازح سوري، وأصبحوا بحسب أحدث تقارير يشكلون نحو 40% من السكان. وال40% تعني كأن تستقبل إيطاليا مثلا نحو 25 مليون لاجئ في بلد يقدر عدد سكانه بنحو 60 مليون نسمة. الأكثر سخاء كان لبنان باستقباله النازحين السوريين، وهو في الأساس لم يخرج بعد من آثار الحروب والأزمات التي أنهكت بناه التحتية واقتصاده الرازح تحت نحو 70 مليار دولار من الدين العام. رغم ذلك قدم لبنان للاجئين أكثر من المستطاع، خصوصاً أن المساعدات الدولية بقيت أقل من المطلوب لتأمين احتياجاتهم الحياتية والاجتماعية والصحية والتربوية. اليوم لبنان يدق ناقوس الخطر، وهو يقف على مشارف أزمات تطل برأسها من باب أزمة النزوح المتفاقمة. 930,000 هو عدد العاملين السوريين في لبنان، وهذا العدد ساهم في رفع نسبة البطالة في لبنان نحو 30%، كما ارتفعت إلى 32% نسبة اللبنانيين الذين يعيشون تحت خط الفقر. كذلك في لبنان حالياً 40% من خريجي الجامعات عاطلون عن العمل. في الأمور الحياتية أيضاً، فإنه مع ارتفاع أعداد النازحين تضاعفت نسبة استهلاك الكهرباء في بلد يعاني أصلاً من أزمة كهرباء، كما تضاعفت كميات النفايات ومياه الصرف الصحي، فيما البنى التحتية اللبنانية غير مؤهلة للتعامل مع هذه الكمية، ما يترك آثاراً كارثية على البيئة وعلى الصحة العامة. أكثر من ذلك، فإن الظروف التي يعيشها النازحون زادت في نسبة الجرائم، فبات 40% من المساجين في لبنان من السوريين. هذا الواقع بكل سلبياته بدأ يؤجج التشنجات الاجتماعية بين اللبنانيين والسوريين على أراضيه، ما يهدد بمضاعفات خطرة حتى في مجال الأمن. وتزداد الخطورة عندما نعرف أن عدداً كبيراً من اللاجئين السوريين دخلوا خلسة إلى لبنان وليست لديهم أوراق قانونية، وبالتالي فإن هؤلاء معرضون أكثر من غيرهم للاستغلال، وربما لتجنيدهم للقيام بأعمال تخريبية. كما أن الظروف الصعبة التي يعيشها الآلاف في مخيمات النزوح تجعل تلك المخيمات هشة وعرضة لاستغلالها من قبل منظمات إرهابية. وفي المحصلة النازحون ضحايا واللبنانيون ضحايا، ورفع الظلم عن الطرفين حاجة ملحة تنتظر مبادرة سريعة من المجتمع الدولي، فبيده ضمان عودة آمنة للنازحين إلى سوريا، وبيده حشد دعم اقتصادي وسياسي للبنان تعويضاً عن الآثار الكارثية لأزمة النزوح الآن وقبل فوات الأوان.
Merci. Le Liban, ce pays ce petit pays qui a accompagné l'intelligence humaine à travers l'histoire dans sa grandeur et ses dérives, et qui reste le rendez-vous d'un humanisme que l'écrivain libanais Charles Korm définit comme une hospitalité du cœur et d'esprit, susceptible de recevoir, donc de concevoir, de prendre, donc de comprendre, de donner, donc de pardonner, et non de condamner tout ce qui est dans l'ordre de la nature humaine. Mais le pays des cèdres, fruit de la géographie et de l'histoire, vit actuellement dans un contexte moyen-oriental très complexe et porteur de contrastes. Cette partie du monde qui, depuis l'aube de l'histoire, constitue un axe primordial dans l'évolution de la pensée humaine, nous amène à nous interroger. Faut-il parler de l'histoire au Liban et au Moyen-Orient, ou plutôt du Liban et du Moyen-Orient dans l'histoire? Si nous nous arrêtons à la période contemporaine, nous constatons que le Liban est devenu un tissu d'intérêts très complexe et de règlements de comptes à l'échelle régionale et internationale. Mais, néanmoins, le Liban résiste. La résistance du Liban n'est pas le fruit du hasard. La réalité libanaise n'est pas un mythe, mais un aboutissement. Cette réalité est héritière d'une longue histoire qui plonge ses racines dans une terre vivante et féconde depuis la plus haute antiquité. Cette résistance spirituelle et culturelle nous rappelle l'image du feu, du fer qui résiste au feu. Les événements se succèdent sur la terre du pays des cèdres, mais la volonté de son peuple reste source d'espoir et d'amour de la vie. Depuis 2011, le conflit syrien a entraîné violence, deuil, déplacements forcés, et la vie de millions d'enfants et de familles a été dévastée. Des centaines de milliers de personnes ont perdu la vie et beaucoup encore, innombrables, ont été blessés. Des millions d'autres ont été obligés de fuir leur foyer et leur pays, essentiellement en Turquie, en Jordanie et au Liban. Les guerres destructives ont eu leur retombée sur le Liban sous forme de menaces économiques, démographiques, sociopolitiques, mettant sa souveraineté et sa stabilité en perpétuel danger. Une estimation exacte du nombre des réfugiés syriens au Liban est très difficile à établir, mais la barre d'1,5 million est sûrement franchie. C'est ainsi que nous pouvons dire qu'un habitant sur 4 est syrien sur le sol libanais. Le Liban reste une terre d'accueil des minorités persécutées. En effet, l'histoire du Liban avec les réfugiés n'est pas récente. Cette terre libanaise connue depuis des siècles comme accueillante et protectrice de toutes les minorités religieuses et ethniques opprimées au Moyen-Orient reste fidèle à sa mission à l'époque contemporaine. En 1915, c'est l'accueil des Arméniens rescapés du génocide turc. En 1948, suite à la création de l'État d'Israël, le Liban accueille des réfugiés palestiniens, à peu près 600 000 personnes, et vivant toujours dans les camps spécifiques. Entre 1930 et 1958, 35 000 réfugiés kurdes, irakiens et syriens s'installent au Liban. Entre 1990 et 2017, plus de 100 000 chrétiens irakiens ont trouvé refuge au Liban. Nous pouvons ajouter les milliers d'alaouites syriens et les coptes égyptiens qui trouvent aussi refuge au Liban dans les années 50 du XXe siècle. Les conséquences de cette situation sont diverses et très complexes. Il s'agit pour un petit pays qui n'est pas encore guéri de ses propres blessures de faire face à une situation qui dépasse ses moyens et qui menace son propre équilibre social et politique. Le Liban souffre depuis la guerre civile dévastatrice qui a ruiné ses infrastructures d'une dette colossale et d'une corruption endémique. Le taux de croissance du produit national brut libanais est passé de 8% avant la crise syrienne à un peu plus de 1%. Les retombées de cette situation sont multiples. On a les retombées politiques. La question de l'accueil des réfugiés syriens est devenue un objet éminemment politique. Les différents responsables et chefs de parti s'en saisissant pour discréditer leurs adversaires, tantôt accusés d'indifférence à l'égard du drame humain vécu par le peuple syrien, tantôt de laxisme au mépris de la sécurité nationale. Toutefois, cette situation ne peut qu'attiser les débats politiques entre les partisans et opposants du régime syrien au Liban. Les conséquences en sont d'abord catastrophiques sur le plan de la fragile cohésion sociétale, religieuse et communautaire issue des accords de Taïf. Les pertes de l'économie libanaise en 6 ans de guerre en Syrie sont estimées à 18 milliards de dollars, sans compter la demande croissante de la distribution d'électricité et de l'eau et la gestion des déchets solides qui sont déjà des installations défaillantes au Liban. L'État libanais doit faire face à plusieurs risques et défis. La démographie. L'écrasante majorité des réfugiés syriens est de confession sunnite. Les chrétiens considèrent que cette présence risque de mettre en danger le fragile équilibre du pays, surtout que ces personnes, malgré toutes les mauvaises conditions de leur hébergement au Liban, trouvent qu'ils peuvent bénéficier d'un avenir meilleur et préfèrent y rester, tandis que les Libanais, face à cette situation, quittent leur pays à la recherche d'autres opportunités leur permettant de mener une vie meilleure. Il ne faut pas négliger non plus le déséquilibre entre les deux communautés musulmanes au Liban, les sunnites et les chiites, menace sérieuse à la souveraineté ou à la sécurité du Liban, le pays d'accueil. Stabiliser la sécurité du pays reste une priorité pour l'État libanais. Outre les risques venant directement des groupes armés déjà installés en Syrie et qui visent à introduire leur idéologie extrémiste au Liban, des signes inquiétants de criminalité et de violence apparaissent à l'intérieur des groupements de réfugiés syriens. Le Liban doit assurer aux réfugiés l'hébergement, les vêtements, la nourriture, l'accès aux premiers soins et doit aussi leur assurer une scolarisation. Selon les chiffres du ministère, 50% des élèves scolarisés au Liban sont aujourd'hui des réfugiés syriens. Ils sont inscrits dans les écoles publiques gratuitement, sans avoir nécessairement un permis de résidence. Le gouvernement a également augmenté la capacité d'accueil des écoles en établissant l'après-midi un second horaire pour les enfants syriens dans 238 écoles. Les cours accrédités par le ministère de l'Éducation nationale libanaise. Deuxième défi, c'est le travail des adultes et des enfants syriens. L'arrivée de centaines de milliers de réfugiés a complètement bouleversé la situation du marché du travail, aggravant la pression sur les salariés et les conditions de travail des catégories les plus vulnérables de travailleurs libanais et non libanais. Malgré les progrès réalisés par le Liban en matière de scolarisation des enfants syriens, le très grand nombre d'enfants encore non scolarisés, soit 250 000 enfants. Ceci représente une crise immédiate et requiert des réformes audacieuses. Le nombre d'enfants qui travaillent a augmenté de façon exceptionnelle. Une étude récente montre que sur les 1 510 000 enfants identifiés, 73 sont originaires de Syrie, dont les Palestiniens réfugiés en Syrie. L'étude révèle également que 42% des enfants des rues sont illettrés. L'instabilité politique du Liban, liée notamment à des oppositions confessionnelles, mais aussi politiques, n'a pas permis au pays de prendre en charge la présence de plus en plus massive des réfugiés syriens, et l'État libanais n'a pas su évaluer l'ampleur des problèmes qu'une telle situation pouvait engendrer sur le plan politique de la sécurité et sur le plan économique. Mesdames et messieurs, chers collègues, permettez-moi en guise de conclusion de lancer un appel solennel de ce haut lieu symbolique qui nous accueille et dans lequel j'ai essayé de vous faire part de ma propre indignation face à cette situation sanglante qui touche le Moyen-Orient en général. Le Moyen-Orient, terre qui a accompagné la maturité de l'histoire, vit à l'heure actuelle les interrogations les plus problématiques de son existence. Les paradoxes sont nombreux. Spiritualité et religiosité, tolérance et violence, savoir et ignorance, richesse et pauvreté, espérance et désespoir. Mais faut-il être pessimiste sur cette terre de rêves et de prophéties? Faut-il se contenter de compter et enterrer nos morts victimes d'injustice et d'arrogance de ces grands du monde qui ne confirment leur pouvoir que par la force et la domination des stratégies meurtrières? Certes, à travers nos institutions et établissements scolaires et universitaires, nous encourageons les relations à caractère humanitaire, éducatif et amical dans les sociétés. Mais l'essentiel de notre force de réalisation s'oriente vers les conditions susceptibles de réconcilier les êtres avec la vie, d'ouvrir à de nouvelles perspectives de liberté pour l'individu. Nous croyons foncièrement que nos efforts doivent encourager toutes les initiatives optimistes de construction d'une nouvelle vision relationnelle entre les peuples. Certes, la logique géostratégique et géopolitique de grandes nations reste plus forte et plus imposante que notre engagement humain et humaniste. Néanmoins, la paix de l'individu l'emportera un jour sur les guerres des nations. Merci de votre attention.
Grazie molte, Suor Hilda, per aver denunciato così con tanta forza gli squilibri e le ingiustizie di cui sono vittime anche paesi come il Libano, pure così accogliente, ma che rischia davvero anche per il suo equilibrio. Allora, ora per ultimo diamo la parola a Rafael Luciani, che è venezuelano, professore straordinario al Boston College, professore titolare della Facoltà di Teologia dell'Università Cattolica Andres Bello e consigliere del gruppo teologico del CELAM, che ci parlerà dei migranti ispanici negli Stati Uniti.
Thank you for the opportunity, and especially because of the bonds between the few that is a sign between not only the US through Boston College, but also through Boston College with the whole Ibero-American reality that I'm going to be talking about. I'm from Venezuela. I'm not going to talk today about Venezuela. We're having almost 2 million immigrants right now due to the recent 4 or 5 year crisis that we're lacking of medicines and food, but that's another topic. I'm going to share with you, in my recent experience in the US, how an immigrant population is changing the shape of the Catholic Church, which is a sign of a positive contribution when we welcome immigrants in a country, but at the same time it shows the tension of resistance of the Catholic Church to be changed by the immigrants. And that's the story of the US Catholic Church and the higher education institutions. To give you some of the examples, 43% of the 78 million Catholics in the US are Hispanic. That means that in just a few years, the majority of the people in the church will be Spanish-speaking people. And that means that pastorally, you will not be able to continue to do as you're doing now, which is especially or mostly in the US, a pastoral of sacraments only, a pastoral of conservation, like Aparecida recalls us, and not a pastoral of evangelization through social practice and justice. So this is a huge issue there, because this resistance is producing that immigrants just go exit of the church, and they look in other communities where they feel culturally welcome, because it's a socio-cultural problem at the end. 60% of those Hispanic Catholics of the that we have in the US are less than 18 years old. So this is another huge challenge, because there is no youth pastoral that knows how to respond to this new reality, where the church is being shaped also by a culture with a gap of years and generations that we don't know how to assume and respond to. Of nearly 5,000 parishes, only around 26% of them do something, only something for the Hispanic communities. And when I say something, it's like, well, most of you, when you go to a mass in Spanish in the US, you have to go to the basement, not to the first floor. And in the basement, then you find 100 or 200 people. In the first floor, you find 30 or 40 or 50 people. And that's another reality, because there is no integration, because they still think on multiculturalism and not on interculturality. So there is no possibility of connecting, interconnecting, creating bonds, this culture of encounter that Pope Francis reminds us. At the same time, this is the reality that when it's welcome, it provides a renewal of the communities. I am a theologian, but as a Latin American, I need to nourish my life with the life of the others. And I go to the Hispanic communities to work with the undocumented people. And when you start hearing their stories of exclusion in the US, where segregationism and the way in which these people are treated is an everyday life history, and you start seeing now how the church is staying behind all this reality. And to put an example, you don't find, at least in Boston, a parish with social work inside the parish, but you go to a Protestant church and you have social work, you have a social accompaniment inside the parish. So another challenge, how do we change this mentality? So the problem of the US church and the higher education is how to respond to this new reality that shaped, because it's already doing it, it's an ongoing process. It shaped already the structures and the mission, because you cannot think of yourself in the same way. What are we doing in the case of Boston College, where I went to the US to lead a project with the Jesuits, creating 3 main areas of work: locally, nationwide, US, and international, Iberoamerica. Because we think that the 3 realities have to be accompanied and attend at the same time, because you have to know the origin of the people that are going there, because you have to be a reservoir of their culture. It's not, you just go to a process of assimilation that we have been criticizing. So this is the first thing that we try to do. We attend those local immigrants, and we study and we know and we try to expose their culture of origin. Because one of the cliches that the US church and the Americans in general have is all Latin Americans are just, to put an example, we just celebrated the Feast of the Dead in Mexico. Well, all Latin Americans celebrate that, and if you go just a little bit further to Panama or you go to South America or the Caribbean, nobody knows that feast. But the Americans then pastorally respond with something that is in a local culture, and the rest of the Latin Americans just feel excluded, to put one example of not knowing the culture of origin. So we try to offer free courses to all immigrants, undocumented or documented, we don't ask, and courses that help them in their continuing education in order to integrate them in the society. Because it's not only about offering a content, a knowledge, if you cannot do nothing with that, if you don't integrate the people in the society. So we have, for example, a program that is called LLI, Latino Leadership Initiative. And this is the only program in the whole US where social workers learn Spanish to accompany Hispanic communities in Spanish, and not in the language only, but in the culture. If you enter a house where a Hispanic family lives, you have to embrace them. You cannot just go and shake the hand. And they're going to offer you coffee and you have to drink it. So these are cultural settings and experiences that you cannot just throw away, because you're excluding immediately the other in its culture. So there is another program that we're offering that now not only local and nationwide, but in the whole Ibero-American through online formation, also gratis, without any cost. And we reach small communities, medium, large communities. We go to also network of universities and schools. And we have had, in the first time we did one of the courses, it was about Pope Francis and the change of the cultural ecclesiastical mentality that we still have, and his political view. We had over 15,000 people registered doing this course for 6 weeks. The second was around 12,000, 13,000, and we decided now to build a program where we are partnering, or we want to partner with universities, doing a huge part of the program online and another part locally in each university. Because we think that for us to opt for the immigrants is not only a matter of opting inside the country, but also outside, establishing networks to provide support. One of the other initiatives that we're having is that we just created an Ibero-American network of theology and pastoral reflection, and we did it on February this past. I did a congress with over 60 theologians, the founders of Liberation Theology, the founders of Latino theologies in the US, and the founders of Spanish related Latin American theology in Spain. And we're providing now a space of encounter between 3 different ways of doing theology and acting pastorally. And this network is now an ongoing process in all Ibero-America. Next year we're going to move into Bogota, the other year to Spain. And this has showed us that in learning this diversity and putting it together in a table, all together we can find better ways of helping and contributing each other. Because for us before it was very easy, Latin Americans speaking with Latin Americans, the Latino speaking with the Latino, and the Spanish speaking with the Spanish. So this is another project, and from there we have assumed immigration and refugees as one of our key leading topics of discussion. In fact, we're trying to find a way to incorporate courses in our universities. To put an example, it's not specifically on immigration, but all universities in Central America right now are having Laudato Si as a course, Catholic universities. So this is a step in that direction. And it's a course that all students have to take. It's not a optional course. So there are things that by networking and taking common decisions, we can offer as Catholic institutions. And to finish, the change of the paradigm, from multicultural to interculturality, but interculturality in the US is still being understood as, I just give you your space, so you have, as a Vietnamese community, your space, as a Hispanic community, your space, and everybody has its own space, but without any interaction. So the challenge is, how do we create in the university that interaction while they study? Because one of the problems that we have is that each culture tries to find their own friends in the same culture. So it's a responsibility how to do that integration, because it's not going to come easily from the same students. No? There is one program that we did and are investing a lot of money in that with Vietnam. The Boston College brings hundreds of sisters from Vietnam. They study nursery. We have a big and important school of nursery. And then after 2, 3, 4 years, they go back, and it's a cycle, never stops. So we have a house to host, and we're helping a church in a specific need, but not bringing them to live in the States, but to form themselves and then go back, and it's a cycle, because then they can teach there and continue the same with the cycle. So interculturality should show us also how to respond to their regions, and not only to respond to our local realities. So this is a bit of the situation, and as you know, to finish with Mr. Trump, which is a new version of Chavez, he now wants to cancel DACA. It's about 1 million people. These students, most of them with graduate studies, they don't speak Spanish because they came very young. And they've never been into their countries because they couldn't go out, because then they couldn't enter in the States again. So what will happen to those 1 million of young people if that program is canceled? They are not anymore Salvadorians. We have more than 300,000 Salvadorians in Boston, and more than 500,000 Brazilians, the biggest community after Brazil, outside Brazil. So what will happen to those who doesn't speak their language, doesn't know their country, and they're going to be in a place where they don't feel belonging, like Pope Francis says. So these are issues that we as higher ed organizations have the duty, the responsibility, and conscience to act.
Grazie davvero Rafael, un bellissimo esempio di come si lavora con i migranti e non solo per. Grazie, abbiamo ascoltato delle testimonianze molto belle, abbiamo parlato di migrazioni, ma ci hanno fatto incontrare i volti delle persone con le loro speranze e le loro sofferenze, quindi davvero grazie. Ora è il momento dell'IMRE, credo, delle iniziative, o vogliamo ancora fare qualche minuto di domanda? Sì, io temevo che avessimo fatto tardi, quindi, ma sono molto gradite delle domande per chi vuole rivolgerle ai nostri panelisti. Possiamo una sola? Mezza. An half.
Very good. Mine is a bit of no observation. Thank you, Dr. Luciani, for your presentations. However, as I was listening to you, I'm here. As I was listening to you, something came to. I'm here. That's okay. in my own opinion, if I may, you made an observation which was a little bit drastic. You said that in no Boston parish there is, beside traditional pastoral care, social programs. May I permit inside Boston, may I permit myself, yes, may I permit myself to disagree? I know at least of a couple of parishes, because I worked there a little bit as a seminarian, but also I'm a Scalabrinian, so I know at two parishes where, for example, I know of the great apostleship of one of our parish with the Brazilians, which you quoted, where I know one of the pastors are here in Rome these days, where there is a fantastic, within the parish itself, within the presbytery and the pastoral center, programs for drug rehabilitations and alcoholism within the young Brazilian community, as well as in the parish of Sacred Heart in downtown Boston for the Spanish-speaking and Portuguese-speaking community. I mean, it's a good example, in my own opinion, of best practices. Sometimes, you know, in meetings such as these, and of course, we tend to be a little bit drastic, and I believe that we might lose sight of good practices that are happening, perhaps a little bit isolated, but are there and should be promoted as examples of best practice. But thank you very much.
Because the value is that these parishes are Hispanic parishes precisely because they don't have American as a normal, exactly. So, but if you go to the North American typical parish of Boston, that's where we have the problem. In fact, we as university are not allowed to go sometimes to teach in the North American parishes, and we have had the help of the Cardinal to intervene because of the situation with the Jesuits and the diocesans in the Archdiocese of Boston, no? So thank you for that, because the Brazilians are the ones who are really working good.
Allora, grazie davvero, questa volta finiamo qui e diamo appunto, lasciamo il tavolo al progetto IMRE. Grazie ancora. Facciamo un applauso ai nostri ospiti.
Thank you for the outstanding panel. Thank you, Signora Milena Santerini, for coordinating it. We really appreciate it, and I would like to, it's my real pleasure to invite here to the table the people who will explain the idea of the network that we've been talking about for days, or actually we've been discussing for months, international initiatives for migrant and refugee education. So you know exactly who those people are. Loic Rush from International Federation of Catholic Universities, Dr. Anthony Cernera being the blessing, and Dr. René Mikalev from Pontificia Universidad Gregoriana. And they will explain what this network is about. And just a technical note, after the explanation, we're going to invite the institutions to sign the partnership paper, the partnership letter at this table, and we'll explain the technical details, how it's going to work, but please provide us the brief presentation of the network now.
Thanks, Paulina. Actually, before we focus on the network and the signing, it would be appropriate at this point to make a few comments of thanks. Conferences like this are complex in organizing, complex in executing, and complex in funding. I want to start off, if I may, to thank the Henry and Erna Lear Charitable Foundations for giving a major grant to support this conference. And Margaret Gibbous, the president of the foundation, as soon as I brought this project to her, she responded quickly and enthusiastically about bringing it to her board, and they equally responded quickly and enthusiastically to supporting the conference. I had the privilege of knowing Mr. Lear in the last few years of his life. I think the efforts to educate and make a better life for refugees would be one that was close to his heart. He was born in Germany, fled to Luxembourg, from Luxembourg came to the United States during a very difficult period in the history of Europe, and he never forgot the realities of life that could have destroyed his life, and also the realities that made his life the good life that it was. And his generosity is carried forward, and his wife's generosity is carried forward beyond their own lives through their foundation. So Margot and the members of the board and all that you represent, thank you very much for your generosity. Now, I'm going to try to proceed to the thanking several others, and I am sure that I'm going to forget somebody. So I start off with being a good Catholic with the word of asking for forgiveness if I pass over you. As I mentioned, when was it? Father Baggio, was he yesterday or this morning? This morning. Well, yeah, this morning feels like yesterday, but anyway. I mentioned that Father Baggio and Father Czerny, from the very beginning of the planning of this conference, were intimately involved and engaged. So I want to thank them for their work. I also want to note for your satisfaction that periodically Father Baggio would tell us when we were having a planning meeting that they had reviewed the conference planning with the Holy Father, and Pope Francis suggested that maybe we think about this topic, or maybe we think about some other topic in the conference. So they were intimately involved, and without their assistance, we would have been certainly limited in our work. Shortly after the idea of doing this conference was agreed upon, a committee to plan the conference had to be put together. And the gentleman on my left, Louis Grosch, from the International Federation of Catholic University, gentleman on my right, Father Rene from here at the Gregorian, Paulina from John Paul II University in Krakow, Monica Hubbard joined together in forming the planning program and communications committee. And we were well disciplined because from the first day that we set up the committee, Monica Hubbard gave us the 42-week meeting schedule. So there was a good German discipline to our project at the outset. So to the members of the committee, we worked very, very well together. We worked hard together. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that in the process, wonderful new friendships developed. When good people come together to do good work in a desire to make a contribution to the world, to the kingdom, good things happen. And the gift of friendship that has been given through our process of working together is a gift that I'm very, very, very grateful for. There are two young women who, without whom I don't think we would have been able to have made this happen today. So our two young interns, Julian and Anne, thank you both very, very much for all of your hard work behind the scenes in preparation for the conference and during the days. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. The president of the International Federation of Catholic Universities, Father Pedro Rubens, enthusiastically said yes as soon as we brought the concept of this conference forward. And so, Pedro, thank you for your support all along the way to make this happen. As your predecessor, I hope you feel a sense of, I know you feel a sense of pride in what we've accomplished. And to Francois, Francois started as the new Secretary General of the Federation of Catholic Universities 2 summers ago, and the first thing he was approached, actually, even before he formally came onto the office, was the idea of doing this conference. And he again enthusiastically embraced it and supported it every step along the way. So Francois, thank you for taking this new initiative at the very beginning of your mandate. Up to the rector here at the university, the Gregorian University, who was also just arriving as the new rector. When we met with him and talked about the conference, he again enthusiastically supported it, and we want to thank him. Father Rene was gracious to come onto the committee and to help guide us through the academic and intellectual development of the conference. All of the practical realities of running this conference could not have happened without our dear friend Monica Fucci. So Monica, thank you very, very, very much. Monica not only brings extraordinary professional talent to this work, but she also brings a personal commitment of working directly with refugee settlement here in the city of Rome in her own private life. So you gave expression to all of your professionalism and also to where your heart and your faith is. So thank you very, very much. And Martina Volpi, her assistant, I don't know if Martina is here, but please extend our thanks to her. To the hostesses, thank you, and host, thank you very much. As an older person, I admire your ability to stand up for so long, so and to be as gracious, and to run around as quickly as you did, so thank you. And of course, when you bring together an international gathering like this, without the assistance of the interpreters, it would have been extremely difficult for us to proceed with our work. So to the interpreters, thank you very, very much. And have I forgotten anybody?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. We have to thank also the director of the French Office of Migration and Integration, that helped us not only on giving us a subvention, but also during all the process of organizing this conference from a, I would say, a thematic point of view. So Didier Lesky, who has not have the possibility to come, but we thank him very much.
From the beginning of the conception of this project, we wanted it to be focused in a practical way. And the practical focus had 2 dimensions to it. Our coming together and sharing with each other best practices and strategies of going forward, and what we have done and are doing in our particular universities. But we also believe that this conference was to be the beginning, not an end in itself. And so that we have held the idea as a goal of this conference that we would form with the conference and beyond the conference a continuing network of institutions, universities, non-governmental institutions, not-for-profit organizations who wanted to continue to collaborate together around the issue of refugee education. So that we want to talk just for a few minutes about that, and then invite you to consider signing the document.
Okay, I don't have a lot of things to add. The network which we're thinking of is something, okay, you can say inchoate. You know, it's an idea which I think we have the resources in this room to start. It is something which we want to put on the table in front of you as a possibility of going forward. What that network actually will entail, on what aspects of the so many things we've mentioned and we've discussed during these days, it will work. We don't know, but we hope that from all of the goodwill which we have seen in these days, something will come forward. Obviously, there are many things which we can think of on a practical level. Certainly, we are academic institutions, or at least that is the first sort of first partner in this network are Catholic universities, but also other universities who would like to join. And we do research. That's one thing. We think of education, we form people. So how do we do research on a topic which is so complex and which needs to be thought on deeply in our world? We've seen that there's a lack of research. There's also a lack of sometimes of fora where we can explain to people some of the research which has been done, how to translate that into language which people who are in the decision-making, policymakers can understand and can act on. And also how to form our students as students who can make a change in the world where they are living in, to be multipliers of this knowledge. Certainly then, as we said, there are people within our universities who are migrants and refugees. Again, to be able to listen to them, to give them a voice, to help them express themselves, not to be forgotten and invisible on our own campuses. But also there are people around our campuses who are migrants and refugees. The whole debate this morning on the question of qualifications, or the recognition of university degrees is a very important one. We can go about it from a very big sort of perspective. Can we move towards international law? Someone asked, has there been something similar? I'm from Malta, so I remember sometime in the 1970s, if I'm not mistaken, the first Maltese ambassador at the United Nations was a Swedish Maltese, Pardo. Gave a very passionate speech about the law of the sea. Malta was still a speck, and nobody knew almost about this country who had just become independent. And yet something started, what then became the international law of the sea. So, okay, we can work on that level. I think we have the resources to work on that level. Can we think of proposing something like a convention for the recognition of university degrees and higher education? What are the obstacles to that? But okay, that's the big picture, which we don't need to forget. But let's also think of something as practical as doing online courses, even English courses. As I mentioned, one of the questions, I spent some time teaching English this spring in Uganda, and and sometimes, one of the first things that they asked me, or one of the first things that I asked when I arrived to teach English is that, okay, you're in Uganda, you're using children's textbooks or a structure based on children's textbooks to teach English. Now, in Europe, I'm not a linguist and I'm not a language teacher, but one thing I know is that we have a framework for teaching English as a second language with different levels which are recognized internationally. In Europe, there are very clear definitions of what should be contained in each level, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Well, maybe this could be an interesting thing to look into. So even when we come from different contexts, with our knowledge, we can challenge what is being done and make it better. So that is something which could be discussed and which could be put into practice within a network of this sort. Let's hope that we can move forward. We will try to build with the people who are there, with the resources they place at they make available to the network, with the ideas they bring. Thank you.
Je vais parler en français. Ce sera plus facile pour moi quand on est fatigué après une semaine comme celle-là. L'idée, on vous l'a dit, redit, c'était de partager des expériences, mettre ensemble des personnes qui venaient d'horizons différents du monde, d'universités, des gens de terrain, des ONG, et également des décideurs, des membres de gouvernement. On a partiellement réussi cet objectif. Les expériences, pourquoi les expériences? Parce qu'on s'est dit qu'on voulait absolument avoir la possibilité, à partir des expériences, de créer des modèles qui pourraient être applicables ou duplicables à d'autres endroits. Donc, on connaît tous les exemples des cliniques juridiques qui peuvent être faites partout, ou une université a une faculté de droit, par exemple. Tout ça, pour le mettre à disposition de tout le monde, on a créé un site web qu'on appelle un site web ressources. Et je dirais que d'un point de vue pratique, ce qui va commencer est le plus dur. C'est-à-dire collecter toutes les informations, les mettre dans ce site internet et les rendre accessibles à tout le monde d'une manière, on va dire, intelligible et pratique. Le site web existe depuis juillet, donc c'est récent. Anne et Colin ont beaucoup travaillé sur ce site. Merci à vous. Les expériences, les compétences. Les compétences, il y en a partout ici, dans les domaines de l'éducation, de la formation et de l'action. Ensemble, on est plus fort. On peut collaborer. La FUC a l'habilité, le savoir-faire de mettre les gens en commun et de les faire travailler ensemble. C'est ce que nous apportons à ce réseau, concrètement. Et je ne vais pas m'étendre parce que tout le monde est fatigué, qu'il faut passer à la suite. Dans nos statuts de la fédération, on veut construire un monde plus juste et plus humain. Je crois que c'est le premier pas pour aller dans cette direction, tous ensemble, université, ONG, et d'intégrer les pouvoirs publics avec, je dirais, une volonté de les abreuver de notes, de nos recherches qui sont faites dans nos universités, de nos pratiques de terrain, de leur dire, regardez, ces problématiques-là vont durer, une vision futuriste, prospective de la chose, et de leur faire des recommandations. La FUC amène aussi une représentation internationale. Nous sommes à l'ECOSOC, à Genève, au Conseil de l'Europe, à l'UNESCO. Nous pouvons parler, nous pouvons agir dans ces lieux-là. Voilà, merci à vous, parce que sans vous, notre travail, il rime à pas grand-chose. Comment? Le protocole, non, c'est pas moi, c'est Paulina qui va expliquer ça, hein, meilleur que moi. Merci beaucoup.
So what we're putting in front of you, to be as frank as possible, is a hope, a desire to continue to collaborate together without a specific agenda yet formulated, without a specific structure of what this network would look like. If this is a project that is something that you would like to say, yeah, I'd like to be part of that, I want to continue to collaborate, to do research, potentially to do research together, to work on educational programs together, we ask you to join us over the next few months as we try to formulate this into some concrete mission statement and strategic plan. We'll look for dynamic interaction in helping to formulate that, and then hopefully in a few months have a plan that we can execute together. Okay. Good.
Yes, if I may, before explaining a little bit of the signing, I need to say another thank you to the man that had a walk in July of 2016 and had the idea of the of this conference and of this conference, and he brought us all together here in this room. Anthony Cernera, thank you so much for bringing us here, because I mentioned John Paul II, our beloved Pope, the Polish Pope, at the beginning of this conference. He said that the refugee crisis is a shameful wound of our time, and this was in '82, and we're 2017 now. Well, with this conference that you've put up together, I think, even if for a step, but we're a little closer to healing that wound, and thank you so much for bringing us here. And now it's time to sign the paper we were talking about for so long. This table here has this document on it. So we would kindly ask you first, the organizers of the conference and the founding fathers of the network. So the first institutions to sign it would be the International Federation of Catholic Universities, being the Blessing Foundation and Center for Interreligious Understanding, and Pontifical Gregorian University. Can I ask, so I'll ask the three first people to sign it. In the name of the Gregorian, it will be the Dean of the Social Sciences Faculty, on behalf of being the Blessing Anthony Cernera, and of course Father Pedro Rubens for IFCU. If I can kindly ask you, the camera is right behind you actually, Father Pedro, right behind you. So yes, please. I will ask the three following institutions to prepare for signing, which would be Australian Catholic University, Catholic Institute of the Mediterranean in Marseille, and Catholic University of Erbil. So can I kindly ask you to prepare for signing? And now it's the time for the first sign, Father Pedro Rubens. When we say photo, please raise your head for the photo. Anthony? There's a name of an institution, so underneath the name of an institution, please give your sign. So next would be the Australian Catholic University. Catholic Institute of the Mediterranean from Marseille. Oh, they're not here, okay. Stephen Rush from University of Erbil. Under the name, yeah. It's on the second page. The next is Catholic University of Pernambuco. Okay, you already did that. Catholic University of Mainz, and please, if you're here. The next one preparing would be Catholic University of Salta, Argentina. And the next one, International Movement of Catholic Students. So now, University of Mainz. It's on the second page. Salta, Argentina preparing. And Jesuit Refugee Service. So Salta, Argentina, and then Jesuit Refugee Service. And the following is Jesuit Worldwide Learning, of course. Okay, Father Michael will sign both. Keystone College Preparing, following by Lemoine. Lemoine College, and then Projects for All. And after Projects for All, Pontifical Catholic University of Chile. And after Chile, my beloved Pontifical University of John Paul II in Krakow. After Krakow, St. Paul University in Ottawa, Canada. And now Scalabrinian International Migration Center after Ottawa. And after Scalabrinian's Silent University. After the Silent University, Université Catholique de Lille. Do we have a representative of Lille? No, okay. Jan is left. So, Universidade Católica Portuguesa. Portugal in the room? Oh, the rector is not here, so she'll sign later. So now, Universidad Ramon Llull. Blanquerna, basically. And now the institution just today decided to join Magna Grecia University of Catanzaro. And this is the last institutions we have on the list. Luigi, if you could put the name of the university on that paper. Whoever would like to join. Okay, so whoever would like to join, decided now, thought it's a great idea. Please stand up and sign the name of your university and your last name. So the next one would be Catholic University of Goma. Later, Stella Maris College. And later, Catholic University of Salvador. From Brazil. Okay, from Brazil. University of St. Joseph in Lebanon. So we have Salvador, Brazil now. Later Lebanon, and preparing Pontificia Universidade Católica do Rio Grande do Sul. And after Brazil, St. John the Baptist Foundation preparing. So St. John the Baptist Foundation preparing, and then University, Catholic University of Eichstätt. Okay, after Eichstätt, Université Son Famille in Lebanon. And after Lebanese University, Catholic University of Milan. And those who signed, because we have the last institution signing, those who signed, we will kindly ask you to stand up. Excuse me. To stand up for a photo. We'll remove the table and we'll take a picture together of those who joined the network. Just a few last, before you leave that room, just a few last announcements. We will send the certificates via email, of course, to all the participants. We will share our contacts with each other, and the presentations will be put on the website. Can we ask those who signed the network here, down here in the front of the table, and those who participated in the conference here? I think we should fit. So those who just put their signature down here and up here, all of the participants of the network, so that we have a picture together. Please remember, before you leave that room, at 9:30 tomorrow, we're meeting at the Vatican, the right-hand fountain. Ashish, you have to lead that crowd here. Please join us for a joint photo. All of the participants of the conference, here, those who signed the network, all of the participants here, I encourage you. Please be courageous. We're courageous at our universities, providing education for migrants and refugees, doing all those fantastic projects. We need to gather together for a photo.
You go first, Paulina.
We'll meet you all tomorrow morning at 9:30 at the Vatican, right fountain. Please remember to meet us there. Take your badges and IDs with you to meet the Holy Father. Thank you very much for those 3 days and enjoy your night in Rome.
Thank you, Paulina.
Yeah.